He had it all: the handle, the shot, the ring. Kyrie Irving was once seen as the heir to the NBA throne, a generational point guard, a magician with the ball, a champion at just 24 years old. But then, it all started to unravel. Cleveland, Boston, Brooklyn. Every stop came with drama, trade demands, media meltdowns, headlines questioning his leadership, his commitment, his attitude. Before long, the basketball world stopped talking about his talent and started talking about his baggage. He went from superstar to locker room cancer. But today, Kyrie Irving is writing a different kind of story in Dallas. He's healthy, he's focused, he's leading. And he might just be on the verge of the greatest second act we've seen in years. This is the story of how Kyrie Irving lost it all, and how he's getting it back, one game at a time. Before the controversies, before the trade demands, before the headlines ever questioned his leadership, Kyrie Irving was a basketball prodigy. He entered the league in 2011 as the #1 overall pick out of Duke, a player with only 11 college games under his belt, but with a game mature beyond his years. From day one in Cleveland, Kyrie looked special. He didn't just dribble, he danced. His handle was electric, creative, and effortless. He could stop on a dime, change direction mid-air, and break down even the most elite defenders with a single crossover.
But Kyrie's one of the only people, he'll let you play. He'd rather play defense on offense. He's defending the ball and keeping the ball away from you. He starts his point of attack, and he lets you dictate how this is gonna go. Yep.
His finishing package around the rim was already elite. Floaters, reverses, offhand spins, all off one foot, both feet, no problem. Within his first few seasons, Kyrie wasn't just making all-star teams. He was stealing the spotlight at All-Star Weekend. Then came Uncle Drew, the viral Pepsi campaign where Kyrie dressed up as an old man and embarrassed real hoopers on the playground. It was fun, it was clever, and it worked. It made Kyrie a brand. He wasn't just a rising star anymore. He was a culture icon. And on the court, he kept leveling up. But as talented as he was, the Cavs were going nowhere. The team was bad, real bad, lottery bad. Kyrie was dropping 40-point games and losing efforts. He was flashy, but the wins weren't coming. And that's when the story changed, in the summer of 2014, when LeBron James came home. LeBron's return to Cleveland was a seismic shift, and Kyrie's role shifted with it. Suddenly, he wasn't the guy anymore. He was the #2 option. But instead of shrinking, he thrived. Kyrie's ability to play off the ball gave LeBron the spacing he needed, and when defenses collapsed, Kyrie was there to hit the dagger. In the 2015 finals, Kyrie got hurt in Game 1, and without him, the Cavs lost in 6 to the Warriors. But the following season, that's when everything came together. The 2016 NBA Finals will forever be remembered as one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. The Cavs went down 3-1 to a 73-win Warriors team, the dynasty, the juggernaut. And somehow, Cleveland clawed their way back. LeBron was phenomenal. But Kyrie, he was clutch. In Game 5, he dropped 41 points. In Game 6, he hit tough shot after tough shot to force Game 7. And in Game 7, with 53 seconds left and the score tied at 89, he got the switch on Steph Curry. One dribble, step back, 3, bottom. That shot didn't just win a game, it won a title. It ended a 52-year championship drought in Cleveland. It solidified LeBron's legacy, and it made Kyrie a finals hero. At just 24 years old, Kyrie had already made the biggest shot of his life, a moment players dream about but rarely ever get. He had a championship ring. He had global fame. He had stats, highlights, and a city that worshipped him. He was at the top of the basketball world. And yet, behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. After hitting the biggest shot in Cleveland Cavaliers history, Kyrie Irving should have been a local legend for life, worshipped in the same breath as LeBron. But instead, something shifted. Kyrie didn't want to be remembered as LeBron's sidekick. The success only magnified what he already felt inside, that he was capable of leading a team on his own. In the summer of 2017, just 1 year after winning a title, Kyrie shocked the NBA world by demanding a trade. The team that had just made 3 straight finals appearances? He wanted out. Why? Because in his own words, he wanted growth. He wanted the ball in his hands. He wanted the spotlight. He wanted to be the guy. He landed in Boston, A team stacked with young talent, an elite coach in Brad Stevens, and one of the most rabid fan bases in the league. On paper, it looked perfect. And for a moment, it was. Kyrie came out strong. The Celtics surged to the top of the East, and it looked like he'd finally found a team to call his own. Then came the injuries. Kyrie missed the 2018 playoffs with a knee issue, and while he watched from the sidelines, something unexpected happened. The Celtics got better. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Terry Rozier took the team all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals without him. Suddenly, people weren't asking, what can Kyrie lead them to? They were asking, do they even need him? When Kyrie returned the next year, things were off. The chemistry was weird. He clashed with younger teammates. He gave cryptic interviews. He called out the team in the media, publicly questioning leadership, maturity, and effort. He claimed he wanted to re-sign in Boston, and then quietly backed away from that promise. The Celtics flamed out in the 2019 playoffs, and Kyrie looked disinterested, emotionless, disconnected. The media turned on him, fast. From ESPN panels to fan forums, the Kyrie conversation went from how high is his ceiling to can this guy even be a leader? He was labeled moody, unreliable, a locker room problem. So, once again, he left. This time, he went to Brooklyn. Another fresh start, a new chapter, a partnership with Kevin Durant. It should have been the revival of Kyrie's legacy. But instead, it became the most chaotic stop of his career. Injuries again. Long stretches of time off for personal reasons that weren't always explained. Tensions with the media, who he often refused to speak to. And then came the COVID-19 vaccine saga. Kyrie refused to get vaccinated, which meant he was ineligible to play home games due to New York City mandates. It split the locker room. It dominated headlines. He became the story, even when he wasn't on the court. The team never gelled. James Harden asked out. Kevin Durant eventually followed. And by early 2023, the Nets, once hailed as a super team, were in pieces. Kyrie requested a trade again. And at this point, the NBA world had seen enough. He was no longer viewed as a superstar. He was a risk, a distraction, a locker room cancer. The narrative was cemented. You couldn't win with Kyrie Irving. But sometimes when your reputation is beyond repair, the only way forward is a second chance. By the time the Dallas Mavericks traded for Kyrie Irving in February 2023, his reputation was in shambles. He wasn't viewed as a championship piece anymore. He was seen as a walking headline, a time bomb, a player so talented that teams were tempted, but so unpredictable that they had to brace for disaster. So when the Mavericks sent assets to Brooklyn for Kyrie, the reaction across the league was skeptical, to say the least. Why would Dallas, a team built around Luka Doncic's genius and stability, bring in Kyrie Irving? Would they clash over the ball? Would Kyrie dominate the offense? Would the off-court noise follow him to Texas? But then something unexpected happened. He adjusted. From day one in Dallas, Kyrie took a different approach. He didn't try to take over. He didn't come in with an ego. He didn't talk about being the guy. Instead, he played with patience, composure, control. He let Luka remain the centerpiece. He picked his spots. He learned the system. And in the moments that mattered, fourth quarters, crunch time, back-to-back scenarios, he delivered. But it wasn't just the on-court production that turned heads. It was the demeanor. Gone were the cryptic interviews. Gone were the viral distractions. Kyrie showed up to games. He spoke like a vet. He uplifted young teammates. And slowly, people around the organization started using a word that hadn't been associated with Kyrie in years: leader. Not the loud, vocal kind. The example setter, the professional, the guy staying late after practice, the guy guiding rookies, the guy playing through pain instead of sitting through drama. And yes, the numbers stayed elite. Over 25 points per game, nearly 50% from the field, 40% from three. But more importantly, he played within the flow. His usage rate didn't explode. He adapted to Luka. When Luka sat, Kyrie led. When Luka played, Kyrie supported. And together they started forming something that few thought could actually work: a balanced, coexisting, elite backcourt. There's also something different in how he talks now. His interviews aren't combative, they're measured, reflective. He acknowledges his past. He owns his mistakes. And he talks about basketball the way someone does when they still love it. Not as an obligation, but as a craft. For the Mavericks, Kyrie hasn't just been a boost. He's been a culture shift. He's taken pressure off Luka. He's added poise to the offense. He's made Dallas believe in more than just a playoff spot. He's made them believe in a run. And what's most impressive? He's doing all of this without demanding attention. No distractions, no drama. Just buckets, leadership, and maturity. Kyrie Irving, the player once known for friction, is now known for balance. The man who once walked out of Cleveland and Boston looking for his own team may have finally found something more valuable, a place where he fits. A second act not built on noise, but on growth. Kyrie Irving's story isn't just about skill, it's about growth. He's still a wizard with the ball, still a cold-blooded shot maker, still capable of taking over games. But now, he's evolving. He's no longer trying to be the hero in every play. He's trying to be the leader his team can count on. And maybe, just maybe, this version of Kyrie, the focused one, the committed one, the team-first one, might be the best version yet. By the hoop, what do you think? Is Kyrie finally turning the page? Or is this just a calm before the next storm? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more NBA deep dives.